While giraffes are staples of almost any zoo now, they were initially considered too difficult to care for in captivity. In 1926, it's estimated there may have been as few as 5 giraffes in the United States. But the staff at the San Diego Zoo wanted giraffes and were determined to get some. By 1938, zoo president Harry Wegeforth had successfully raised enough money to acquire 3 animals from Africa, a rhino and 2 young giraffes. Giraffes were from East Africa and seem to have either been Rothschild giraffes, which are now considered to be identical to Nubian giraffes, or reticulated giraffes, although contemporary reporting always refers to them as Ugandan giraffes. The pair of giraffes and rhino were put on board the SS Robin Goodfellow in Mombasa, British East Africa, modern Kenya. It was a long journey by boat from Mombasa to New York, nearly 8 weeks in total, but their journey was made incalculably more dangerous when it crossed the paths of the Great Hurricane of 1938, one of the most destructive and powerful hurricanes in modern history. The Paterson, New Jersey News reported that the Goodfellow was the first vessel to radio about the storm. The waves were so great that they swept the rhino overboard, along with all of the giraffes' stored food. While the storm threatened to take down the entire ship, the crew was especially concerned about their delicate cargo. Sometime during the storm, the female giraffe's crate was knocked loose and rolled over and over until it smashed. The giraffe failed to extricate herself from the mess, and the crew determined that she was dead, putting most of their efforts into securing the second crate. One of the crew watched carefully, however, and saw the injured giraffe still moving within the wreckage. He covered her with a tarp to protect her from the storm. When the storm had finally abated and the ship finally sailed in calmer waters, the crew was able to assess the damage. They sent a telegraph informing the zoo of the loss of the rhino, but both of the giraffes were alive. Once the female had freed herself from the crate, however, it was clear that she hadn't escaped unscathed. Her left rear ankle was hopelessly injured. The ship was still 6 days out from New York, and the crew had a new problem to solve. They had nothing to feed the giraffes, all of their hay gone overboard in the storm. The solution was to make the giraffes pancakes, which they liked well enough to keep them fed until they could make port, which they finally did on September 24th, 1938. They had made it to America, but still had a few thousand miles to go before San Diego.